Hey, my name is Brett Papa. I'm an online educator. I produce guitar instructional courses. I've built amps. I've done a bunch of stuff, but my passion these days is really like having people learn to create on the instrument. I was a young kid and I just moved to California, and it was back in the heyday of the 80s. It was right when like the Van Halen 1984 album came out. And it was like right out of a movie. This kid with like super long hair and he had checkered Vans and the half pipe cane. And he's like, "Come here, kids." And he pulled us into his house and he had these giant speakers. And I remember he's like, "Sit down." And he made us sit down and he put on Van Halen 1 and Eruption came out. And from that second, it would just like catapulted me into wanting to play guitar. And then it was like, I have to do this, and then through, just watching videos and, taking guitar lessons at local shops and whatever, it just like put the bug in me. I went to visit my dad about 5 or 6 years later, and I went into a music shop and I was playing, and the teacher came out and he's like, "Man, you play really good. I would love to like have you teach here." And I'd never thought about doing anything like that in my life. And I was like 18. I was like, what can I show anybody, But it was like the genesis of what turned into what is going on now. And it's been an amazing ride. I think when you're a kid or whatever, and as years go by and you're like, "Man, I'm never gonna make it." And you realize there's so many other things that you can do in music and have a career and really still get to like live your passion and not have to tour the world or whatever. I get to sit in the room with some of the greatest guitar players on earth now and just drill them on how they came up with their sound or what they do, and it's just like, it's so inspiring. I love having, really good players come in. I like having teachers come in too, but I like really getting into the minds of the people that really are making the music. I think what I'll be doing in the future too is just, not just guitar, just really getting into the minds of musicians as a whole and, reminding people that, at the end of the day, it's songs that got us into guitar. It's not, maybe it was a riff, maybe you heard something in Led Zeppelin or whatever you heard that really connected with you. But I think the next evolution that we all need to do as players is get back to the really good music and remember that that's really what inspires people to play. That's what connects with people at the end of the day. What I want to do and where I want to go is I really want to get into that area of like, how can you create things? How can you make songs? How can we show people out there that even if you're not the world's greatest player, that doesn't mean you can't write something cool that connects with somebody else. And so that's what I'm super passionate about. I got back into the Marshall world with the Little Studio Series amps. I bought one of the little SV20 heads, and I remember plugging into that thing just thinking, oh my God, this thing is amazing. And so that kind of got me back into that world. And I'm so stoked the direction Marshall's been going lately, because it's like we all get lost in this whole thing of gear and pedals and all this stuff. And not that that stuff isn't great, but I think what I've found with Marshall, especially lately, is, man, just plugging straight in and like the feel of being able to, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but once you like start to feel how you can really like kind of play off of an amp and how you hit and all the little subtle things that you can do, it's just fantastic. And the amps have been awesome because no matter what your level, if you're a bedroom player, if you play stages, they're like starting to fit every one of those little pieces. I do a lot of stuff with auxes and all these things to where it's not playing out of real cabs, and they sound so good. And at the end of the day, it's that tone, it's that thing that we heard as kids that for me, the Van Halens and all the 80s metal, all these Marshall tones, it's like the stuff coming out. And this new head they came out with, it's like, oh my God, there it is. There's that sound. And it's not chasing a bunch of different gear. You can take a cord, your guitar, and plug straight in, and it's like, there it is.